Hello, Bryce here. So today I want to talk about how my mentorship student, give me one second, I deleted my notes. My mentorship student basically got four clients. They basically got 12-month contracts for she made them sign. Generally, it's about $24,000 in revenue. It took about 25 days to go and accomplish that inside of the mentorship program. So they came from two partnerships. So that's the thing I want to talk about today is number one, how do you get clients to pay you a lot more? How do you get partnerships? How to make sure that your clients are even willing to stay with you for longer? And really how she was able to kind of overcome a lot of those like limiting beliefs that she had. So also, if you want to go and actually hear it from her side, like what happened to her in her words and her side, go ahead and type in M24K inside the comment section. I actually have like a behind the scenes clip that I took that basically showed how she was able to not only get the four clients, right, and $24,000 in contract revenue, but she also has six more calls like from referrals this week. So this is gonna be a breakdown because she wasn't really an expert at like marketing when she first got started, but now she gets clients almost at will. Specifically inside of that, we talk about how she overcame a lot of like her limiting money beliefs, how she tracks which referral partner gives her what amount of income, so she knows which relationships to kind of foster, how she's going to clone her referral partners so that they give her the most amount of money, and how she'll be able to go and give out work to other mentorship students inside of our program, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit of detail. But if you want that, you want me to share the behind the scenes recording with you, type M24K. I'll be sure to send it to you. Either myself or one of my admins will send it out to you. Some people ask like why I ask you guys to like do code and stuff. It's because when people go and like and comment on a post, it generally gets shown to more people. So I'm not charging you for this information. I'm basically giving it out for free, helping people out in the community, and then people come to me wanting more help and wanting more further expertise and experience with it. So let's go and attack. How do I keep doing that? Sorry, I keep like pressing the wrong button, just like deletes my entire thing. So who am I actually? So I don't know if it, just for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Bryce Tubbs. I currently run a six-figure accounting and bookkeeping firm, which I started back in 2015. I've helped to date. I've helped over about 200. I think it's like 27 because someone just signed up today. 227 people inside of our mentorship program, starting to grow their accounting or bookkeeping business. Also, if you want some help, maybe you're like watching some of these videos, maybe you've seen some other stuff either on like my Instagram, my YouTube, or my Facebook group, and maybe you're just like, hey, I want some help growing my income. If you want help doing this so you can live like a life of freedom without having to go through the different struggles that cause most people to fail, go ahead and click on either above or below the video the link that's going to take in my calendar to see book a call with either myself or one of my advisors to see if I can actually help you inside of our program, because our program is not for everybody. There's certain people we can't help, many different factors involved. So if we don't really feel that we can help you, it doesn't really make sense for us to like go back and forth over Messenger, give you a million details and like give you a price, because that's not what we're here. We're only here to accept a certain amount of people who we know we can actually help. So if that's you and you want to see if you qualify and if we can help you, go ahead and click on the link inside the description or the above or below the video. Book a call with me, see if we can help you. So the number one thing for her was number one, how to go and do marketing, because when she was first getting started, she just didn't know how to do marketing, right? So what that looked like was she would do, I think, like a Craigslist ad one time, just trying to respond. She'd be like in different like Facebook groups, kind of lurking, just like looking for people who are looking for a bookkeeper for an accountant, right? So waiting for that one post every month where the person goes, hey, I'm looking for someone. The problem with that is, number one, it's too far and few in between. Number two, it's not very sustainable, it's not repeatable, it's not controllable. Now, those three things are needed in order to make sure that our business can keep going long term. Now, the reason why I always push like high ticket monthly recurring services is because once you get those clients, as long as you maintain that good client relationship, they generally will stay with you for a very, very long time, right? So automatically gives you more stability than like the average business owner. So when you have this in place and you have consistent marketing, it does make it easier for you to grow. Now, the first thing was making sure she had the market. The second thing was really her limiting beliefs. So I was inside the program. We review calls with students. Basically, what that means is anytime that a call either works or maybe if it doesn't work, we basically give feedback. We say, okay, so this is what you could do better. This is how you should do better. This is what the prospect said when they said this. This is what they meant when they did this. And upon looking at that, I noticed that she had a lot of fear around the price she was charging. So one client, she tried to charge about $1,500 per month. And when she set the price of $1,500 per month, she really had a lot of hesitation, a lot of panic, and it really kind of made me and her and the other person very uncomfortable. And I was kind of listening to calls like, oh, that sounds like a lot of money when you say it kind of like that. A good example. So I had another student. Basically, he was charging for like a cleanup, and he said the cleanup will be $5,000. And when I heard him say it, it sounded super heavy. It was very, very strange. Like when he said, I was like, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. Versus whenever I say 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 or however many thousands of dollars, it's very smooth, it's very light, it's very easy because it's like it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of your life and the grand scheme of your things, right? The big thing that most people struggle with is that they don't really understand how to go and view the value of their work. So one thing that you're going to start learning as you start getting more consultation calls and as you start talking to more and more people, you're going to start understanding like why people need accounting services. So a really good one. Okay, so I was working with this. It was like a consultant slash a coach, right? And basically, he was selling between 30 to about 50 grand a month in sales, but his bank account was actually losing money over time, and he didn't really understand exactly what was going on. The reason why was because even though he was getting paid, his Stripe payment processor was actually holding a percentage of his money over time, right? In that it's almost like a kind of like a reserve account that Stripe actually does. Now, not all payment processors do this. Certain payment processors will do this to you if you're not really aware of it, right? But he didn't really have an understanding of how to actually go and do that or how to track those numbers. So every single month, his cash flow started going down, and pretty soon he got into a panic. And it wasn't until like I just like took him to it. I said, "Hey, have you looked at Stripe to see this reserve account? There's about $30,000 that are actually sitting in there." And he was like, $30,000 was sitting being held, and it was actually being held for about 90 days, right? So he actually had a hidden AR that he was not really expecting or really understanding. Now, once he was able to kind of like see that, now he's able to plan for his business a lot better. Okay. So basically, what we did was we just saved his business because a lot of businesses can't survive more than about 30, 60, 90 days if they're not making any cash because their expenses are just too high. Just everything can like really shut down. The biggest reason why a lot of business owners go out of business is not just because they don't know what they're doing. In a lot of cases, because they run out of cash flow, right? So that's one aspect. So for her to go and charge someone $1,500 a month to go and make sure they understand exactly where they stand and why their bank account is going up or why the bank account is going down, so they can start controlling their business, controlling their growth, that is invaluable. That is invaluable. Okay. So that once you start understanding like scenarios, and we give you different scenarios and different like things from either my past or different consultations or stories from other students about how we help people either save money in taxes, make sure they can grow their business, that it starts making sense why you should be charging the price you are. And if you're charging anything lower than that, you're actually doing yourself an incredible disservice. The next thing is going to be about referral partners. Okay, so once you start really understanding that, we started having her go to some of her different referral partners and just start talking about the different kind of levels of payments that she does and how she's not the cheaper end. That way, when she starts getting more of the referrals coming in, they start understanding that she's actually someone who is a little bit more expensive. So from one of her referral partners, she's got 19 leads booked on the calendar from one referral partner. Now, some people don't really understand how to get referral partners. That's completely understand. Like if you don't know how to do referral partners, I actually created a book. I published a book that walks through step by step how to get your first or your next six-figure partnership. Now, I'm going to be putting the book on Amazon in the next like few weeks, where the price will be about $21.99. However, I have a special price as a way of saying like thank you for taking the time to like watch these videos, whether it's on like my LinkedIn, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook group, wherever, right? Thank you for taking the time to do this and spreading the word. Whenever you like or comment, it just boosts the algorithm, just lets more and more people see me. So it just further spreads the mission of helping people grow their business. So as a way of saying thank you, I actually put the link to my book on my website at a very private community discount. Okay, so it's at $4.99 for a limited time. Now, if you want me to send you a link to that private website where you can go and actually get the book, comment 6FP book, and I'll actually send you a link to it inside the comments below. That's 6FP book, and I'll respond in the comments, give you the link so you can go get it for $4.99. Cool. So now once you're understanding how to do that, right, the next thing is tracking your referral partners. So not all referral partners are created equally. So in her particular case, she has multiple referral partners now, right? It's been 25 days, but just like the way we kind of structure our outreach to referral partners just makes it so much easier for you to get clients. So one person gave her 19 leads, another person gave her, I think, about 4, another person gave her about 2. So we have like different spreadsheets and different tracking sheets I give you inside the program. On one of the tracking sheets, it's all about learning how to identify which one of your referral partners is the most important, so you can start fostering that relationship, and also you can start cloning. So the first thing we had to do is say, okay, so out of all the clients that have signed up for each one of these referral partners, which one has the best percentage? That means, so let's say, for example, one lady's name starts with an M who was referring her clients, and she was 2 for 2. So out of the 2 people she referred, both of them signed up. It's 100% referral rate. Versus another one that was like out of 4, I think it was like maybe like two sign up at like a high price point. The guy who said 19, a number of them are for next week, so she hasn't had a chance to like actually do the call with them. But out of 10, I think it was about 2 to 3 out of 10, right? So we're looking at like different factors. Number one, what's the percentage? So I actually think the guy who was sending 4 and gave her 2 is actually the best out of those. And there's different reasons for it, because also what I didn't tell you was how much money did each referral give, right? So we talked about in this thing, like the title, it's like 4 clients. She did get more referrals from it, but those are like the most, like the longest ones, like the $24,000 contract came from 4 of them, right? So there was other ones, but it's just everyone is not created equally. And like sometimes I don't tell every single number that like happens inside of like the student stuff. So like I think she's gotten about 8 clients since she joined, but like the biggest ones were the 4 that she joined from those 2 referral partners. But once you understand exactly like which referral partner has, number one, the highest conversion rate as well as the highest price point, that's when it's time to start cloning and start going really hard. Wow, it's raining very hard outside my window. Wow. I think it's hailing. Crazy. It is hailing. Wow. Sorry, I got a little distracted. If you can't hear me, it's because the rain is just very, very loud, but hopefully you can still hear me. Someone said 6FP book. Oh, that's cool. I will be sure to send that to you after the video. Actually, I can send it to you now. Here's 6FP book. I'm actually going to post that inside of the comments below. Yeah, let me know if you can still hear me, because like it's very, very, very loud on my side. So I don't know if I actually can be heard. So that's what we're saying. Okay. Once you're able to do it, you can start cloning. So inside of that book that I gave, someone said I haven't seen hail before. So it's almost like imagine little golf balls like the same size as like this, but round, right? It's just like punching the cars. Like there's like tree branches kind of breaking off of I have like this giant tree out in front of my house. So I like go stand under whenever there's like too much sun, and I just kind of relax. But it's just like I just see branches like breaking off in my driveway. It's really weird because it was like I think 60 degrees today. All that to say is I'm just going back to I'm very easy distracted right now. But really making sure that you know your numbers is very, very important. I know as like accountants and bookkeepers, right, we're very numbers driven when it comes to our clients, but oftentimes you need to start being numbers driven about yourself. So for example, first it's like how much revenue, how much income are you making? You need to be tracking that. Like do your own bookkeeping. I had a client, his name was Paul, last year, and he came to a coaching call. Like we do like small group coaching calls inside the program, and he was like, I'm very annoyed. I'm not making fun of him. I am making fun of him, actually. So that's not his voice actually sounded. But he basically said, I'm not making $10,000 per month. I'm very, very irritated. And I literally made him like spot check because he'd been getting like a lot of clients. I made him literally spot check. Hey, do your accounting right now. We have an hour on this call. By the end of this call, I want to see your numbers. And then about, I think it was like 20 minutes later, this guy comes back. He goes, oh, actually, I made $11,200 this month. And it's just like his whole attitude, everything just totally changed, right? But it comes from actually being able to do your own numbers. That's one aspect, okay? You need to know how much money you're making. Just like everybody else, you need to know your cash flow. You need to know how much like money do you have in the bank, how much runway do you have, how much revenue you expected, how much of your revenue comes from like monthly clients, how much revenue comes from cleanups, how much revenue comes from tax prep, how much revenue comes from all of your different services, so you know exactly where you stand. The next is your marketing, okay? So just like we talked about with referral partners, you need to know which partner is giving you how much money, which lead channel is giving you how much money. Is LinkedIn your highest one? Is Facebook your highest one? Is Instagram your highest one? Is email marketing your highest one? Like, which one is your highest lead channel on a dollar average, as well as like a close rate? Like, what is your close rate? If you do 10 consultation calls, Out of those 10, how many will sign up with you? If you do not know these numbers, it makes growing your business very unpredictable, and it can make it really easy for you to just, it constantly feels kind of like a roller coaster, right? Where it's like sometimes you might get like a quick win, but then it's just like you don't know exactly what causes that, right? So one thing that we do inside the program is we make things very, very systematic, where we talk about KPIs. Like, how much work should you be doing on each platform in order to get one consultation call? Then out of your consultation call close rate, like how many of these consultation calls do you need to get one client? From there, we can actually go and back into how many clients do you need at what revenue point. So that means how many calls you do, and then how much on each one of your platforms do you actually have to do or talk to or communicate with, or relationships you need to build, or referrals you need to get in order to go and reach your income goals. And what that does is, as long as you go and put in the work, once you have those numbers, it's very inevitable that you're able to reach your goals. And that's why it's so much easier for like my students in my program to go and show they're getting really great results, right? Because it's so mathematically sound. Everything is based on numbers, not on like emotions or fear, right? Because oftentimes when you're starting out, everything is based on how you feel. It can't be based on how you feel. It can't be based on one day you might be really tired. The next day you might be kind of scared because, maybe you're thinking about quitting your job or whatever. Like, you can't have those kind of fears. You have to be as logical as possible when it comes to decision-making process. Now, just because you can't have those fears does not mean those fears are not going to be there. They still are there. It's just you have to be, even though you're feeling the fear, you need to be moving based on the logic, right? So you're feeling fear, but it's like, okay, so I know if I go and have this many referral partners, and I go talk to referral partners in this city who will go and deal with this type of clientele, and I go and build this many conversations, I go and have this many meetings with them, it's going to generate me out 20 consultation calls. When you have that, then if you do your 20 consultation calls, there's both qualitative metrics as well as quantitative metrics. Quantitative is basically the numbers, right? As you guys are accountants, I don't have to explain this to you, but just in case you're coming from a different industry, right? Quantitative means it's like a quantity, right? So that's 20 meetings. Now, within those 20 meetings, there are qualitative data points. Like, did you feel very confident when you were doing your presentation? Did you ask good questions to get the business owner to see you as an expert? Did you have the right energy, right, that matched the business owner that was on there? When you go out and talked about your price, did you stutter with your price, or were you very confident with your price? Did you do a good quality temp check? If you don't know what a temp check is, you can go to my YouTube channel. I just released like a pretty long sales script that talks about like different things on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be releasing that video publicly in a couple of hours, actually. But do you then have, like, if you're going to be, are you doing invoicing, or are you going to be doing payment on the phone, or are you going to be doing like email in order to get the invoice paid, right? Once you're able to have those things, okay, so let's say that you're doing like email. So once you do your call, you give them the price and you go and send them an email for them to pay it, right? Did you actually go and see, like, when was the date that you asked if they're going to have it returned to you by? Are you having them sign the engagement letter first, or are you going to have them pay the money first, right? Are you going to get the payment through credit card, or are you going to get the payment through like an ACH? All of these adds different amount of time to your equation, to your actual ability to go and close deals. And then also, each one of those is going to really determine, out of those 20 calls, how many of those calls are you actually going to sign up, right? Because I know for me, if I have 20 calls, I generally make a lot more money than a lot of people who are just getting started in the business. I'm not trying to brag. It's just I know my numbers a lot better. I know exactly, like, out of all of my calls, let's say that there's 5 calls, right? I know that one call might not show up. I know that one call might just not be in the right place to do any work, right? Another one is going to have like budgetary problems. Another one's going to need to think about it. Another one's going to close, right? So that's out of 5. Let's say that's a 20% close rate. However, these 2 where maybe they didn't have the budget at this moment in time, or maybe they didn't really understand and they need to go do more research, I actually will schedule a follow-up call with these 2 people after a certain amount of time. Now, within these 2 people, generally one of them is going to close. So now out of 5 people, my close rate has been 2 out of 5, which is about 40%, right? So then if you multiply out by 5, you multiply it out by 10, by 20 different consultation calls, it allows us to be able to go and make more money than what 90% of people do, because they don't really understand this aspect of sales. Yeah, someone says sounds hyper organized. Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, because like for me, my biggest weakness, just in general, like when I was starting out, was organization. Like like if you ever see any of my desks, like if I ever show my desk or anything, everything is always like messy. So I always have to like create systems in order to make sure that I am organized, right? And that allows me to be able to like pass those skill sets on to other people. So for example, like even in my house, I have like a box next to almost all my work desks where if I'm doing any kind of paper, I can just dump it into the box and just like rip it out, dump it out. I don't have as much paper right now because I'm using like these Remarkable journal. But that's different things that you do in order to make sure that you can go and grow your business, right? So that's what it is. It's all about cash flow. It's about strategy. It's about tactics. It's about being organized. And it's about really having self-discipline. That's all it takes to get to six figures. Like now, why, if it's that simple, like why would someone join your mentorship firm, or why don't more people who like are on the street go and start a business? It's because, number one, a lot of people, they don't really invest in themselves, and it causes them to kind of have to rely on motivation and discipline, not really on like external pressure. So most people, and like this, don't take this wrong way, most people don't really have a lot of like discipline. So they look for motivation, right? So discipline means that you wake up every single day, even though you don't want to do it, and you do the things that you hate doing, right? Motivation is the thing that helps it make it easier for you to have like enough activation energy to do the things that require like discipline. So motivation can actually be a crutch to discipline. Now, once you're able to start going and growing your business, you really need to be able to start developing these different things. But if you can't, by joining a program where you're around other people who have more discipline, who have like paid some sort of investment, number one, it causes you to get out of your comfort zone, so you move a lot more urgently. But then number two, it causes you to actually have this bit of competition where it's like, if you see other people who have the same exact life circumstances as you, but they're doing the work, they're putting it in, they've paid the money to get started. That's how two people of the same background, the same number of children, the same job, the same level of education, the same level of experience, have two drastically different points at the end of 10 years. Okay. It's very crazy. So like I'm about 9 years in the game, right? So I'm almost a decade into running businesses. Now, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so I'm very close to a decade in business, right? And the number of people who I've seen just come and go, or people who have even followed up with like an inbox and like Facebook, where like they say like, oh, I'm looking to start a bookkeeping business. I actually did an activity where I accidentally sent an email campaign to almost every person that's ever done a consultation call with me in the year of 2020. I think it was like 2020, yeah. And the number of people who are still saying, I'm thinking about getting started, or I don't really know what I need to do to get started, but they just weren't really willing to either put in money or put in like the right amount of time to grow. Like they just didn't do the mentorship program. It's very, very sad, right? And I'm not saying like in a mean way. It's just a lot of people, they're not really willing to pay the price. Now the price does not have to be like sacrificing time with your family. It's either you can sacrifice your time or you can sacrifice your money. But the people who sacrifice neither, they kind of stay in that same zone. It's very easy to say, like next week I'll take it more seriously, or I'll take it more seriously a month from now, or maybe in 6 months from now, or maybe right now the kids are getting out of school, so I have daycare XYZ this next week, maybe in September. I actually had a person. I'm gonna keep her private, her privacy, but she booked a call with me a whole year ago. And she ended up like not showing up for that call. She didn't cancel, just no showed. It was kind of strange. Doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes does. And then this year in the beginning of June, she was on the call and she said, I don't know if it's a good time right now. My kids are getting out of school. I don't know if I have daycare and stuff. Maybe in September. And I actually pulled up it's called a CRM. It's like an organization like where you can see all different email and addresses of people who are inside of your business, right? And I showed her exactly in September of last year that she actually booked a call. So a whole year went by and no progress had been made. And that's what it took to snap her out of it. And she was like, whoa. And everything just changed. Like I have to kind of do something. It was just, it was just kind of like some people need that wake up call. But if you're watching this, like don't wait until you either hit rock bottom or wait till like a year, 2 years, 3 years goes by and you're still sitting in the same place. And like I'm not trying to be mean. It's just kind of the reality of just life. It's very easy to kind of get distracted, right? Corporate America, the world, society, everything kind of pulls you back down to this like place of like normalcy. And whenever you try and rise up or you start thinking about rising up, it's very easy for life to just kind of pull you back and keep you in line. Now, for some people, that's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like if you really want more with your life, you need to actually start taking the actions that is required in order to go and do more. Because if you don't, just think about it's not good enough. It's not going to get it done. Okay. If you truly want to have like the freedom to spend all day with your family, if you truly want to be able to go and do what you want when you want, maybe like you want to go live by the beach. Like if you want to have these things, you have to do something. You have to go break out of the status quo in order to do so. But that's basically the stuff that I've learned, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want some help, once again, go ahead and click on the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call with me, see if I can help you out. Again, we can't help everybody. Just like I said, like some people just are not really ready to grow their business. So if that's you, like it's okay if you we talk on the phone. I'm like, hey, maybe it's just not right time, right? But that's okay. But at least I'll point you in the right direction. If it is the right time, I'll talk about the pricing structure of the different programs, the options you select, and then we can see about moving it forward and making sure that this is the thing you think is going to actually go and find success at this moment. If that's you, I will see you on the call. You're either going to be speaking with me or with one of my advisors to see if it's a good fit. Okay. If you're not speaking with me, don't feel bad. It's just we have a really high volume of calls. And I generally had to bring on like an advisor to kind of like evaluate different people, give them some different game plans, see if they can help them out, because it's just too much at this moment in time. It's like we get anywhere between about 5 to 7 people applying, and we generally only accept about 10 to 12 people per month. So there's a lot of people who we just kind of like say, hey, it's not a good fit right now. It's not malicious, but we do have like a wait list in some cases. So if that's you, I'll see you on the call. If it's not you, I'll see you inside the next video. Have a good day. Take it easy. Someone said I'm waiting for your response in the inbox. Okay, I'll get back and respond to you ASAP. Have a good one.